Kafka Hibino, aka Kaiju No.8, main protagonist of Kaiju No.8. If you've seen the anime, you know why we love it. But if you haven't, let me quickly tell you why. Kafka is a 32-year-old average Joe. In his world, giant monsters called Kaiju exist and spawn constantly. He works in Kaiju disposal because he's past the age to qualify to fight for the Kaiju Defense Force, his dream. But the age limit rises due to lack of recruitment, and he pursues his dream once more, and he passes the exam. But then, a Kaiju invades his body much like a parasite, and Kafka transforms into a Kaiju as a result. Not just any Kaiju, a powerful Kaiju. So powerful, the Force gives it a number. He's now a threat to the Defense Force. His dreams crushed again. He tries to fight without these powers, but quickly realizes he's in over his head. He doesn't give up though, and eventually, the Force realizes that Kafka's human self can be trusted to keep Kaiju No.8 in check, because Kafka's ambition to protect not just the people he loves, but everyone from Kaiju. That ambition is stronger than the Kaiju within him and its innate chaotic nature. Kafka is the man who always has hope in his heart. The man who, with death in his face, with death screaming in his ears, will put on a brave face so as not to worry anybody around him that is just as afraid as he is. He's a great man. But what if I told you he isn't what makes the anime good? It's his people around him, his team. It's the side characters of Kaiju No.8 that make the watcher want to come back for more. That's not to say Kafka isn't a good protagonist. I literally just gave him that nice intro. But Season 2 ended on a cliffhanger that showed us 5 1v1s that are about to take place between our team and powerful numbered Kaiju. And when I've asked others in my day-to-day who have seen the anime which fight they are most looking forward to, almost nobody has given me Kafka's fight as their first response. Everyone wants to see more of the team. So today, I'm going to be going over 5 side characters in Kaiju No.8 that I feel are good examples of the author's mastery of writing good side characters. They aren't just badass, which all of them are, but they also have depth to them, and some of their stories even give us world-building details. Each of them does or has something to them that piques our interest or draws our complete attention to them in some way. The 5 that I'll be talking about today aren't the only characters worth mentioning. It's just that 4 of them are characters with cliffhanger fights, and the other is the first character we meet. So they are all vital to the story right now. The characters who are the topics of today's discussion are Reno Ichikawa, Hikaru Shinomiya, 3rd Division Vice Captain Soshiro Hoshina, 3rd Division Captain Mina Ashiro, and 1st Division Captain Gen Naru. I'll be going over how we get introduced to each, their important character traits, what they bring to the lore of the world of Kaiju No.8, their relationship to Kafka, their hype moments, and overall what makes them them. What makes us have the feeling of wanting more. Alright, with that being said, let's get into what Kaiju No.8 does best. We of course have to start with our boy Reno Ichikawa, Kafka's day one, as in he's been in Kafka's corner since the first day they met. We meet him episode 1 as a new part-timer on the Kaiju disposal team. He wants to join the Defense Force, and after learning that Kafka at one point did too, he asks Kafka why he quit. Kafka basically says everyone has a limit, and he reached his, and it wasn't enough. He then says Ichikawa will understand one day. But Reno tells him in response, with all due respect sir, I never give up, and that he'll never understand giving up. Right away, first intro to this kid, and we see his ambition. We see how hungry he is to take down Kaiju. Straight out of high school by the way, he's 18. But when you think about it, it makes total sense that a kid growing up in a world being destroyed by Kaiju would want to grow up to be a defense officer. It's like a kid in real life inspired by soldiers to join the military. So we not only get a glimpse into Ichikawa's mindset, but also the mindset of many other young adolescents in this world. He's clearly not the only one with this same ambition. As a matter of fact, even the generation before him, Kafka's generation, had the same kind of ambition. We just learned a second ago that Kafka wanted to join the Force when he was young, and tried out every year that he could. Ichikawa is a reflection of Kafka's younger self, and turns into a version of Kafka that didn't give up when reaching the limit. By the end of his first day, or the first episode, Ichikawa gains a deep respect and even admiration for Kafka, because towards the end of their day, a Kaiju arises from the earth, and Kafka with no powers, no suit, no weapon, stands his ground and tells Ichikawa to get to safety. Ichikawa obviously doesn't just run, and when it looks like things are over for Kafka, he comes back and saves Kafka too. After they ultimately get saved by the Defense Force, Ichikawa is the one to tell Kafka about the new age limit. He sees that Kafka still wants to save people from Kaiju. Not only is Ichikawa a reflection of a younger version of Kafka, Kafka is a reflection of an older version of him. Ichikawa is our boy, He stands by Kafka, and when Kafka turns into a kaiju, without hesitation, Ichikawa backs him up, not questioning Kafka's character. He's our boy. We also learn later that Ichikawa applied for kaiju disposal to get better acquainted with the anatomy and biology of the kaiju he will soon be killing. So not only is his ambition there, but so is the dedication. Ichikawa represents what hard work and determination paying off looks like. We see this throughout the entirety of the anime. When he is first given a Defense Force suit, in episode 3, his combat power is only 8%, but through hard work and training, by the end of the second season, he can unleash up to 51%. For reference, most captain level officers that aren't complete talents or prodigies peak in the 40s. We see him do things like experiment with different kinds of ammo to find out what is most efficient for him, or with no hesitation, he temporarily trains under a different division to enhance his skills. He will do whatever it takes to get stronger to fight alongside Kafka. His two biggest hype moments are in episode 7 against Kaiju No. 9 and in episodes 19 and 20 when he uses a kaiju weapon suit for the first time. In episode 7, Kaiju No. 9, our big bad of the anime right now, pulls up on Ichikawa, and upon seeing No. 9, he immediately locks in. He moves fast enough to dodge No. 9's attacks. He's not only dodging, but fighting back too, surprising No. 9 a little. This is a crazy feat because at this point in the anime, we've seen enough numbered kaiju to know that they can be threats far beyond captain level, requiring multiple captains and officers to take down. Ichikawa ultimately doesn't accomplish much damage-wise, but his growth from episode 3 to 9 is showcased here in his fight IQ and ability to react to 9's attacks. Had 9 showed up against Ichikawa when he only had 8% battle power and practically no real training, Ichikawa would have been donezo. Fast forward to season 2, episodes 19 and 20, and we see the leaps Ichikawa has made. Throughout the series up to this point, we get a lot of scenes with Ichikawa training and learning new things with his temporary new division, the 4th Division. His new captain notes that the rate of Ichikawa's growth makes him a true prodigy. The Defense Forces found out also that he is compatible with a kaiju weapon, made from Kaiju No. 6, who is called the King of Kaiju. More on the kaiju weapons and Kaiju No. 6 later though, because another character's writing tells us more about these things. I'll be going over her next, so you won't have to wait too long to hear more, don't worry. But back to Reno. He is compatible to wear a weapon made from the strongest kaiju in history. His new captain sends him on his first mission with the suit. Battle is different from training, so this is Ichikawa's true test as to whether or not he can use the suit without potentially unaliving himself. In this fight, he takes out multiple Yoju, basically small fry kaiju, with the quickness. One-shotting them, even though they are small fry, is no joke. They're still kaiju. And then he shows off more of his fight IQ as he engages the Honju, basically bigger kaiju that lead the Yoju hordes, but not big enough threats to have numbers. He engages the Honju and realizes its hide is thicker, so he needs more power, and he manages to pull more power out from this suit, increasing from 43% to 51%. His captain notes that not any regular officer can just increase their battle power limit in battle like this. Ichikawa is a beast, and he wasn't just made a beast, he works to get where he is. Study, and even during this battle he pushes his body past its limits, moving in ways that shouldn't be possible. This is what hard work and determination paid off looks like. His drive the entire time during his training being that he wants to be strong enough to protect Kafka, so that Kafka will never have to risk his life by transforming. He wants Kafka and his team, and the nation, to be able to rely on him. That's our boy, our day one, Kafka's right-hand man, Reno Ichikawa. Now let's move on to Kafka's left-hand man, or should I say woman, Kikoru Shinomiya of the 3rd Division. We meet her at the end of episode 2 and the beginning of episode 3. She arrives to the second part of the Defense Force entrance exam and addresses Kafka in the parking lot mockingly as old man and tells him to move his car from her parking spot. Mind you, they're in a basically empty lot with ton of spaces available, but she wants his spot because it's marked 55, and that's her number of the day. She comes off as spoiled, but don't let that fool you, because we see right away that she's not arrogant. She just knows who the fuck she is. She reveals her combat suit, our first introduction to this tech. Suits made of kaiju tissue that enhances the wearer's combat abilities. She unleashes a fraction of her strength to lift Kafka's car with one hand and move it from her spot. She mocks him, but then he lifts his car up to put it back upright and mockingly calls her Little Missy, trying to flex his strength back at her. He was using his kaiju strength secretly though. But this sets the stage for their dynamic to come. She loves to humiliate him, and he loves to put her in her place. Everyone at the exam knows who Kikoru is. They refer to her as history's greatest talent. We see this right away when she flexes her combat power release, and it is at 46% as a rookie. And remember, our boy Ichikawa's max output is 51% by the end of Season 2. So by the end of Season 2, our boy has barely caught up to Kikoru at the start of the anime. And this girl has almost nothing but hype moments. Every time she is on the screen, on the battlefield, in training, anytime she is present, we see her one-shotting kaiju after kaiju after kaiju after kaiju. We even see her two-shot a Hanju during the exam, protecting Kafka as she does it, stating, "No casualties while I'm on the battlefield." This sense of huge responsibility coming seemingly out of nowhere. We get a glimpse into her mindset. After taking this Hanju out though, number 9 appears and she gets completely overwhelmed, and she is astonished when she hears it talk. We the audience now know this is something never seen before, an intelligent kaiju, and Kikoru is ready to die fighting this thing. But luckily, Kafka shows up, transforms into number 8, and saves her. She witnesses Kafka change, but she keeps his power a secret as a show of gratitude for saving her. And she also gains a lot of respect for him as a Defense Force officer, and even a love for him starts to form in this moment. Because despite her attempts to humiliate him, he still saved her and put on a brave face, smiled at her, and told her she did great. I don't think this connection is going to be a romantic connection, but more like a sibling relationship. Cause she's like freshly 18, man. If the author ends up shipping them, that's a little weird, bro. But all the while that Kikoru was fighting 9, we learn more about her mindset. As she's bleeding out, pushing herself to fight this monster in front of her, she's thinking, I have to be perfect. No one dies while I'm on the battlefield. Why is this her philosophy? It's not necessarily a bad one. No one dies while I'm on the battlefield. It's admirable. But why does Kikoru, an 18-year-old adolescent, feel this passionately about this? Trauma. A lot of it. Let me get into what I love most about Kikoru Shinomiya, and that is her immediate family. She is the only child of Isao and Hikari Shinomiya. Who are they? Only the Director General of the Defense Force himself, and herself, the captain with the highest kill count in Defense Force history. So get this. Her mother died in combat alongside 2 other captains and many platoon leaders fighting against Kaiju No. 6, the king of the Kaiju. See, I told you it wouldn't be long till you heard more about this. Kikoru was about 13 at the time and already had ambitions to become an officer like her parents. So she, at 13, begins to feel this heavy guilt. She feels shame and failure because she wasn't able to fight alongside her mother and protect her. This is why she is so passionate about nobody dying while she is on the battlefield, because she doesn't want another incident like what happened with her mother to happen. After her mother's death, her father Isao went cold and ultimately treated Kikoru like a Defense Force officer, trained her to become the kaiju killing machine that she is today. But this is in a way cruel. This isn't the relationship that should have formed after Hikari's death. They should have mourned together, but from what we can tell, it seems they never did. They both hardened themselves for the sake of the future of the Defense Force. Isao can't be weak, and he tells his daughter she can't be either. He tells her she must be perfect. Poor girl. She's not some spoiled brat. She's a prodigy, a talent that has been treated more like a weapon than a child. We see he does love his daughter though. He's the one who tests Kafka's ability to withstand Kaiju No. 8. Prior to this test, Kikoru pleaded to him to let Kafka go. He responded by telling her, "Don't forget, he's a kaiju, like the one that killed your mother." I know, still sounds harsh, but when testing Kafka, he holds back because he, in his heart of hearts, wants Kafka to be able to control his powers, because he does want to be able to fulfill his daughter's request. And Isao is a badass dude. He tests number 8 using weapon number 2. This is when we learn using a numbered weapon takes years off the user's life, and they work in almost a symbiotic way. One must be compatible with the weapon to use it properly. Later, he uses the same weapon against Kaiju No. 9. Isao sees the strength of 9 and knows this is going to be his last battle, so he goes all out. He pushes number 9, but 9 ends up absorbing Isao. And Kikoru is present, bearing witness to what became of her father, and she lies there, hopeless. She is now seeing her other parent die at the hands of a kaiju, and she can do nothing. After the many events 9 caused, the Defense Force decides to give Kikoru a kaiju numbered weapon, weapon number 4. The suit her mother used, and the only kaiju weapon capable of flight. Look at how majestic it looks. Badass. Her father's subordinate even comments that in the suit, she is a perfect mixture of Isao's strength and Hikari's speed. Kikoru represents legacy, the legacy of her family, and the legacy of the Defense Force. She is the prime example of a Defense Force officer. To live and die fighting kaiju is her legacy. Her mother died in battle, using a kaiju weapon against a numbered kaiju. Her father did the same. And I think by the end of the series, she will too. It's her family's legacy. I don't think she's gonna die in the cliffhanger fight to come because we clearly have to see her dad again, and she's fighting a humanoid kaiju, Kaiju number 15, who looks like a younger Kikoru. So I'm sure we're about to have more of her trauma thrown in her face that she's gonna have to overcome in this battle. So I think she will end up winning for that growth. But I think death in battle is ultimately her fate. Kikoru, the legacy of the Shinomiya name. Now let's talk about our vice captain of the 3rd Division, Vice Captain Soshiro Hoshina. We first meet him episode 3 at the combat exam. He is overseeing it. He ultimately will determine who passes and who doesn't. He comes off as nonchalant and is very much a clown, as in he loves to laugh. He laughs at the fact that Kafka's unleashed combat power with the suit on is 0%, because he's never heard of that happening. And during the exam, Kafka breaks his leg, so Reno piggyback carries him throughout the battlefield as they shoot at kaiju. And this has Hoshina rolling, and he exclaims to just pass them because the division needs a comedy duo on the team. Don't let this clown mask fool you though. He's a vice captain for a reason. When he gets serious, this man mutilates kaiju, numbered kaiju even. And his weapon of choice, in a world where guns and tech are the most efficient way to take out a kaiju? A sword. That's right, Hoshina is our swordsman. Not just any swordsman, the last swordsman in a long line of swordsmen that go back centuries. His entire ancestry, his lineage, are all kaiju hunting swordsmen. Hoshina's character gives us insight into just how much kaiju are embedded in the history of this world. For centuries, kaiju have been around. They learn about kaiju in the history books. In today's generation though, swordsmen are basically non-existent, and since his youth, even members of his clan told him he should give up the sword and adapt to the weapons of the day. He is now a vice captain though, overseeing an entire division. Fuck the haters, man. That's our boy, Vice Captain Hoshina of the 3rd Division. He represents the history and culture of the world of Kaiju number 8. He has 2 big hype moments. The first in episode 7. This is the same episode Ichikawa faced off against number 9. Kafka came to save him, and in the moment tried to flee while Ichikawa covered for him. But Hoshina caught up to number 8, and it's on sight. He immediately blitzes Kafka, who comments that Hoshina is faster than even number 9, and moves more seamlessly than Kikoru does in battle. He's on a whole other level. This is the first time his speed is really showcased, but ultimately, Kafka manages to get away. That same night, Kafka sees Hoshina image training, reenacting their battle to the T. And he tells Kafka he assumes number 9 is at least as powerful as number 8, so he's training to kill them both. This is the fool's serious side. We see more of this side of Hoshina in the very next episode, episode 9. Another humanoid kaiju, Kaiju number 10, invades the Tachikawa base, home of the 3rd Division. Hoshina's second hype moment. The kaiju speaks and asks who is the strongest at the base. Because the captain isn't present, Hoshina explains it's himself, who is currently the strongest. And it's on sight again. Number 10 blitzes Hoshina, appearing behind him, and delivers a crazy strike from point blank range. But Hoshina dodges. He holds back even during the first half of their fight. All the while, Kaiju number 10 is praising him, telling him even most kaiju can't pose a challenge. Hoshina notes that number 10 seems to be enjoying himself, which contradicts the fact that kaiju shouldn't experience emotions like that. He leads 10 away from the others to the training grounds, and then proceeds to go all out. Unleash combat power 92%. And this fight is fucking sick. Number 10 literally is glazing Hoshina's ability the entire time. It's having so much fun in this battle. Later in the second season, we see that after its defeat, number 10 didn't die. And it straight up asks Hoshina to make a weapon out of him and for Hoshina to be the one to wield it. And they make a suit out of number 10. And it becomes the first sentient kaiju weapon. We get to see Hoshina use this suit, and at 77% combat power, they do some crazy work together. The team comments, if Hoshina and number 10 could reach 90% together, they may be a power unlike anything the Force has ever seen. He is left with a cliffhanger fight against a new numbered humanoid kaiju as well, Kaiju number 12. A kaiju that fights like a swordsman? This is the fight I'm most hyped for. Soshiro Hoshina, Vice Captain of the 3rd Division, the Defense Force's last true swordsman, the man whose place Kafka wants to take one day, because Kafka wants to fight right beside their captain. And who may that be? Leader of the 3rd Division and 4th character in our lineup, Captain Mina Ashido. We meet her towards the end of the first episode. She is the one who saves Kafka and Ichikawa from the kaiju that almost killed them. She one-shots it after her white Bengal tiger takes a chunk out of it. Yeah, she's Mike Tyson. Immediately strikes us as a strong, independent female. And we see this throughout. The way she commands and leads her division, even supports her division. And the way she can just one-shot Honju, it's always badass to just see them splat. And she's doing this from a distance. With the advanced tech of the world, she can snipe a massive sized kaiju from 20 kilometers away, not missing one shot, back to back to back. And at maximum output, she can reach 96% combat power, the second highest percentage we see in the series. The next guy holds the highest, but we'll get to him when we get to him. Ashido is so well known in the world that all of the other 3rd Division members we meet looked up to her growing into adolescence and joined the Force because of her inspiration. But we, the audience, eventually see that Ashido's strong, independent, leader personality is just a mask she needs to wear and made herself comfortable wearing. See, she actually has a much deeper connection to Kafka than the other characters we've met, even deeper than his connection with Ichikawa. Ashido and Kafka grew up together, and after their city was destroyed by a kaiju, all she can do is cry, while Kafka put on a brave face and smiled to make her feel safe. We see many flashbacks throughout the anime that every time she cried, he did this for her, and they made a promise to each other to join the Defense Force and take down all the kaiju together, to fight side by side. We know what happened. Kafka reached his limit, and she climbed. When she sees Kafka has passed and joined the Defense Force, we see her mask slowly fall off. We see hope in her eyes. She's been waiting for it. She wants him there as bad as he wants to be. For now, she has her vice captain, her sword, Hoshina. She actually handpicked Hoshina for his swordsmanship. She's the best sniper, so she needs the best sword at her hip. He's to make up for her weaknesses. She is the one who acknowledged his swordsmanship as useful, no, necessary, even when his own clan didn't. Hoshina takes this to heart obviously, and as a result, loves fighting alongside Ashido. So he even tells Kafka at one point he won't be leaving her side without a fight. I'm sure we're gonna see Kafka take his place by the end of the series. That's definitely something that is a need to be seen, like Kikoru seeing Isao before his or her actual death. But I think this means Hoshina will also die. That's the only way Kafka can replace him. And I think he might die during this fight that he has coming up. I think he and Kaiju number 10 are going to go out in a huge bang together. But back to Ashido. She also has a cliffhanger fight, but not much has been shown about the kaiju she is facing, Kaiju number 14. What we do know though is that the kaiju are supposed to be perfect counters to their opponents. So I'm guessing bullets aren't going to work, and we're going to have to see her put in some close combat. Or maybe Kafka ends up saving her after his fight, and we really get to see her mask fall. And last but not least, we got to talk about Captain Narumi of the 1st Division. We get introduced to him during the first episode of Season 2, Episode 13. After Tachikawa base is destroyed, Kikoru is temporarily sent to the 1st Division, and Narumi is going to be her sensei. He's the unserious, lazy prodigy. We see his room is cluttered, he's playing video games very obsessively, he can't manage his money, he is very much a young man entering adulthood, not wanting to have responsibilities. But much like Hoshina, don't let this side of him fool you. He's a captain for a reason. Not just any captain. Captain of the 1st Division, the strongest division. He is the student of Director General Isao Shinomiya. Yup, this man's trained under Kikoru's father. Narumi is also a character like Ashido in this world, a captain that people look up to. We get a scene of this kid protecting his sister, standing his ground against the kaiju, all the while thinking, knowing Captain Narumi will come. And he does. He saves the kid, and he tells the kid to post all about it on social media. The people love him. He's a symbol of hope for the future. He's the nonchalant badass. His meeting with Kikoru is cut short though, when they are alerted about a kaiju spawning, so they head out. Narumi tells Kikoru he'll show her what he expects from her. And what is that? Her unstoppable power, as we see him one-shot this Godzilla-looking kaiju with ease. He's no joke. In episode 15, we see him take on number 9, or a duplicate number 9. So I'll explain now that the 9 Ichikawa, Kafka, and Kikoru have been facing is a weaker version of 9, and so is the one Narumi is currently facing. Still a powerful kaiju, but when Isao fights number 9, that is the first time we see the real number 9. Narumi fights this 9 though, and unleashes 98% combat power. 98%, the highest percentage we've seen. And he showcases the power of his weapon made from the retina of Kaiju number 1. It's a mixture of a blade and a gun, and it gives him a form of foresight when using it. Not only that, the blade part of it burns wounds shut, preventing or slowing regeneration of Kaiju. After showcasing his fighting ability and beating 9, he thinks to himself that something is off. His intuition alone is telling him this. And after hearing that the real number 9 has invaded HQ to fight Isao, he bolts to HQ. He knew something was up. He doesn't make it on time to save his mentor, but he and Kafka then take on the real number 9 together and push it to the point that it's forced to retreat. Sadly, they didn't defeat it. After Isao's death, Narumi gets more serious with his training of Kikoru and tells her, "Everything your father beat into my head, I'll also beat into yours." He understood Isao's vision. He knows why Isao allowed Kaiju number 8 to remain a member of the defense force. He knows why Isao sacrificed himself to try and defeat 9. He knows why Isao taught him that power is what matters. He knows why Isao was harsh with his own daughter. It was all for the future of the defense force. Kikoru may represent the legacy of the defense force, but Narumi represents the future of it. He also has a cliffhanger fight, and we see his enemy able to bypass his weapon's foresight. So we're going to see Narumi rely on his own skill and power in order to take out Kaiju number 11, Gen Narumi, currently the strongest defense force captain of this generation, and potential director general of the next. What Kaiju number 8 does best is showcase its side characters. A big reason the authors were able to do this is because they put a huge nerf on their protagonist. Kafka, during the entire first season, can't use his powers in front of anyone, so we needed to see what his team was capable of. And in season 2, another nerf was put on him, a mental block, stopping him from using his powers, so we were able to get introduced to Narumi and get to see how much our team had grown. They still had to support Kafka, and the characters I mentioned in this video are just the main ones being showcased in the plot right now. At the same time, the authors have been building up other characters, like our boy Iharu here. He was present for both Ichikawa's big fights, against number 9 and when he first wore the Kaiju number 6 suit. Iharu was a big reason why Ichikawa even survived both of these fights. They tag teamed during both of them. Iharu was even given basically a full episode dedicated to learning his past as a young child prodigy, surpassing everyone. But after hitting adolescent years, he's hit a wall that he's trying to break his way through. And we learned that when he gets in the zone, his combat power increases for those brief moments. And there's also platoon leader Shinonome, whose ambition is to fight by Narumi's side. And we get a glimpse at Hoshino's big brother, who is a captain of another division. Characters already being built up for the next part of the story, and I can't wait to see what the authors do with them. Thank you all for watching this far. I really appreciate your time. If you've seen Kaiju number 8, what fight are you looking most forward to next season? Did you enjoy my breakdown of these characters? Anything you'd like to add? Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't seen Kaiju number 8, but clicked my video anyway, let me first say, thank you for sticking around. Did I do enough to get you to pick up the anime yourself? Let me know in the comments too. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to hear me talk about more anime and manga topics like this, you know, all that YouTube stuff. And that's a wrap on Kaiju number 8, man. It's been your boy, Anime Man, and I got more anime to watch and manga to read. See you in the next one.
Anime Man.